But you're not standing like that anymore for the video?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
That's just my mini Captain Morgan stance.
You know what I thought about the other day? One of the biggest game changers for me when it comes to building muscle was when I learned that body part split routines, and you guys know what body part splits are. That's where you do chest on one day, back on another day, shoulders on another day.
National Chest Day Monday.
When I learned that those were inferior to full body routines. You guys remember when that hit you?
I think more of it being like a one versus the other for me, it was just when the light bulb of frequency went off. Like when it really went off that, wow, it trumps intensity, it trumps the weight that I'm pushing in the gym. Like I didn't realize how important just the frequency of whatever it is I was trying to do. I think that was bigger to me than it was like really, I feel like sometimes we create this division of like it's body part split versus full body. I think just people getting the concept and the understanding of hitting a muscle group more frequently with less intensity is far more beneficial than less frequent and super intense.
That's right.
So that was for me, that was like the aha moment when I finally, and there was little things.
Because you could go over intense with full body training for sure.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can go over intense with anything,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
But something you want to keep in mind is that the muscle building, and we know this now through several studies have confirmed, that the muscle building signal that you get from lifting weights lasts for about 48 to 72 hours. After that, it drops off considerably. Now, you could still be recovering during that period of time. You could still be sore, but that doesn't mean the muscle building signal is still there. Now, full body routines, when done properly, they hit that muscle building signal up more frequently for the same muscle groups. Let me explain. Let's say you do a body part split and you're hitting chest and it's Monday and you do 21 sets for chest on that day. You've set a loud muscle building signal on Monday, but by the time Wednesday rolls around, it's really started to drop off, and by Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's not there anymore, even though you're still recovering. Now, what we could do is we could take all those same exercises, all those same sets, everything the same, keep it exactly the same. The only difference is, instead of doing all 21 sets on Monday,
split it over 3.
I'm splitting it up over 3 days.
Which
now I'm doing chest.
There's studies already. We've got plenty of studies that show that.
It's backed by science, 100%.
We know this. I think it just takes a while for, at least I know for me, because I was training for so many years in that body part split, it just takes you a while to break out of that mentality.
Well, it's part of the culture that we kind of grew up with in the gym, and so it's almost like you go in there and you see people doing very specific types of exercises that day, then followed up by the next day, and it just becomes part of like the common knowledge that everybody sort of shares together. So, doing the full body routines, the total body, it really takes you outside of that comfort zone. Like that's comfortable to me.
Well, that's a great point because it's harder too.
Yeah.
When you're not used to, and I remember being.
Oh yeah, when you're hitting legs 3 days a week.
Yes, that's what scared me.
Yes.
I mean, I'm a 6'3" guy, 230 pounds, like. Squatting is a long way for me, and it's a lot of work. And what I was so afraid of is like, oh my God, training legs twice a week seems so daunting. But that was probably the reason why it seemed so daunting was because I was one of those guys that was doing 20 to 24 sets because I felt I had to crush my legs for them to respond and grow at all.
Super sore for you to get those
Yes,
kind of gains.
so that mentality, that's what was keeping me away from doing the 3 times a week because I was like, God knows, 1 is already hard enough, 2 or 3, I'll be miserable. And so it took a lot for me to make that switch from body part split to full body, but then also learning to pull back, like I said, that intensity to fit those in. So now the 21 sets that you were doing on that single workout now spread up over 3, it also affects the intensity level that you have to train at it. Like it's crazy what you...
And the exercises you end up picking are the more effective ones. Like if I'm hitting my chest 3 days a week.
This is the big one right
here. 7
sets
each time. I'm fresher and stronger to incorporate the exercises that really build the most muscle. Bench press, incline presses, my heavy exercises. Versus when I do 21 sets all in one workout, my first 2 may be the good ones. The rest of them are these cable, quote unquote finishing movements because I have nothing left.
That's the big one is that right there because if you're somebody who does 20 to 24 sets of chest in a workout, you for sure are somebody who you don't do that all incline or all flat bench barbell. You do your barbell press, then you go do dumbbell stuff, then you do
that's a
flies,
bunch
then
of
you do
machine stuff.
cables, then you do
Cables, yeah.
machines. You're bouncing around doing 3 to 5 sets of all these different exercises, thinking that variation and muscle confusion is what you're supposed to be doing. In reality, you're doing all these inferior exercises because you've already did the big gross motor movement. Now you're doing all this other stuff. Where if you took all those other ones, and instead of doing those, you now did on Monday, you did 7 incline barbell press. Then on Wednesday, you did flat bench barbell press 7 sets. And then on Friday, you did dumbbell press, and watch the gains you were to get.
That's
just
right.
because of those movements that you're choosing to do. You're still doing the same amount of sets, but the sets and the exercises are far more effective that you're choosing.
So keep in mind, if you want to try this yourself, you take in your body part, split up the sets over 3 days. I personally like to work the full body each time. So I'm in the gym 3 days a week. I start with my big body parts. I move to my small body parts. I'll do between 3 to 6 sets per body part. Do your large movements are going to make up the bulk of your exercises. And by the way, don't train to failure. That's another
Yes,
big one.
big key.
Don't lift to failure. Stop about 2 reps short. If you lift to failure and you increase the frequency you're training, you're heading for disaster. So cut yourself just short of failure. Increase the frequency by doing the full body. Watch what happens. I'm telling you right now, a good 80 to 90% of you watching right now, switch your routine from split to full body with more frequency, even though you're doing the same amount of sets, you're all gonna be blown away. And this is kind of the basis of some of our MAPS programs, which you can find at mindpumpmedia.com.
Just give it a try,
Plug
you
there.
know.
Absolutely.